What is up, and welcome to the Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silver's 2023 SEC football preview. As always, I am your host, Brandon Silvers. If you're watching on YouTube, we're doing these a team at a time to make the videos less husky and easier to watch. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you are getting the full preview all at once because you have a pause button. Now, you should subscribe to both video and audio by checking the show notes or searching Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers so that you don't miss anything, such as the video-only, most entertaining weekly college football pick'em show in the history of the world, Brett's Bets. Speaking of Brett's Bets, I am joined today by the man himself, Brett Gosnell, to help me break down these SEC teams. Brett, let's get into it. The Arkansas Razorbacks, 7-6 last year, 3-5 in the SEC. They beat Kansas in the Liberty Bowl. Head coach Sam Pittman, fourth year here. Look, they're bringing back KJ Jefferson. That might be enough. I don't know. Brett, what do you think?
Yeah, so like you say, 7-6 last year, but they did get up to number 10 in the polls at one point there. So things were looking very bright for a short period there. You mentioned KJ Jefferson. They're also bringing back the running back Rocket
Sanders.
Rocket Sanders, thank you.
1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, so maybe the best quarterback running back combo in the whole conference. Maybe. I mean, it's up there. The problem is they're losing a shitload everywhere else. So the O-line, you remember how good the O-line was last year, at least against us. I mean, they just absolutely smothered us in that second game of the year. They're losing a lot off the O-line. Trey Knox, the tight end, is coming to us. They lose their offensive coordinator, Kendall Briles, one of the best offensive coordinators in the country, the guy who I was hoping we would hire. He goes to TCU, correct?
Yep, I believe so.
And then the guy that likely would have taken over, we had already hired, Logains. So, or Loggins. Is his name pronounced Loggins or Logan? Whatever. Dowell.
He'll score some points for us, and then I'll learn it.
Yeah. So they end up with Dan Enos, who was at Maryland the last few years. He's been all over the place, a long tenured offensive coordinator. It's going to look different than the Kendall Briles offense. Apparently, they're going to play a lot slower. So, yeah, like I said, the quarterback and running back, they're set. Best duo in the conference, arguably, but everywhere else, huge question marks.
Yeah, they've lost their top 4 receivers. So, wow. Jefferson had 2,600 yards passing last year, 25 TDs, 5 interceptions, but I don't know who he'll be throwing to this year. Yeah. And he did have 600 yards, 9 touchdowns on the ground, and he is a big, swole dude. Yeah. So I could see why they would want to slow it down and run the ball when you got him and Rocket Sanders. And the O-line, as you mentioned, that's a big question mark, but that's Sam Pittman's specialty. So I'm a little less concerned with that because I was reading he's coached offensive line at 9 different FBS programs.
I did not know that. I knew he was at Georgia.
Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah.
A lot. And I can't think of a person aesthetically and just with a name, Sam Pittman, who looks like Sam Pittman, who is better suited to coach offensive linemen.
Yeah. Physical appearance-wise could not be more different than our Shane Beamer. However, I feel like they're good analogs of one another just in the coach. This is his 3rd year or 4th year?
It is his 4th year.
Okay, so roughly the same amount of time as Beamer. A player's coach. The players love him, motivational type dude. and just we're a similar program to Arkansas. I feel like,
Yeah.
Banging on the door of being good sometimes, usually, rarely making it there. Huge loyal fan base, a lot of money in the program. So yeah, I wish Sam Pittman well always, because I see a lot of us in them.
In worst case scenario, he gets fired and opens up a barbecue spot. Like that's the other thing I see him fitting into with his appearance name.
Yeah.
Hitman. So now that I've got his second career, defensively, they lose a lot too. First team All-American linebacker Drew Sanders and the school's all-time leading tackler in the oddly named Bumper Pool.
Yeah. So whereas it is going to be a blow to them to lose their offensive coordinator, it may be better that Barry Odom has left, because they were very, very bad on defense last year. They're bringing in Travis Williams from Columbia, South Carolina.
Hey,
do you know this? Yeah. He played at Auburn. He didn't play for us, and then played in the NFL for the Falcons, and he was co-D coordinator at Auburn, and then Central Florida's D coordinator. So I think he's like 40, so still kind of youngish. Getting really his first major job here. So we'll see how he does. Like you say, they're losing a lot. They did bring in another Columbia connection here. They brought in Trajan Jeffcoat, who the defensive end who played at Irmo, who Muschamp, like an idiot, didn't recruit, went to Mizzou. We had him in the transfer portal. Then one of our admissions people dredged up some minor offense he had as a freshman, apparently, and didn't let him transfer. But Arkansas, breaking with their similarities to us, said, "Yeah, we'll take the very good strong side defensive end senior. Thank you very much."
That's how you do college football.
Yeah. And the idea that he's like a bad kid, I mean, he's like a straight A student and shit. I mean, it was just so silly. But yeah, don't know what else they have on defense, but
not I think we pretty much covered that. I think the defensive line is supposed to be a little bit improved this year, and they're kind of hoping that can overcome losing the two big linebackers from last season. But I don't know, that they got two tough games at the middle of the season at LSU, at Bama. Their schedule doesn't look too terrible outside of the middle stretch there. Like the beginning is what a typical start to the year would look like, and the end isn't awful either. At Florida, at home against Auburn, FIU, and Missouri. So yeah, I could see them winning 8 games, honestly.
Yeah. And they were on the verge of that or better last year. I mean, I jotted down LSU, A&M, Ole Miss, and Bama all last year where they easily could have won those games. A&M, I remember because I had money on them. You remember that game at Jerry World? They like fumbled with like no time left in the first half, and somehow the ball didn't roll out of bounds, and A&M ran it back for a touchdown, and that was probably their only touchdown of the game. So they had some bad luck last year to be 7-6.
Yeah, and they'll be playing them back at Jerry World again. But yeah, we talked about LSU kind of had everything break right to win 10 games. Arkansas kind of had the opposite happen, end up with 7 games. So I could see them, especially, that was the other note, the defensive backs, they need to have a bounce back year. Like they were terrible against the pass last season. So if the defensive line can help make up for the loss at linebacker, and the defensive backs can do anything better than last season as well, I think this could be like an 8-win team.
Yeah, that's probably the ceiling, but yeah, they certainly could get there. You know, the more I think about Bumper Pool, I feel like that's a huge loss because I'm thinking back to the game they played against us. He was just all over the field.
Yeah.
So that seems like a guy that's hard to replace.
Yeah, so we'll see. And like I said, they've got some time to figure it out before they head to LSU, but good luck to them. I think we covered that all too.
Yep.